Hey guys, welcome to the channel. And in today's Star Citizen video, I wanted to take you guys through kind of a step-by-step guide in doing some ship upgrades, right? Now, Star Citizen's really big on the ships, and a big part of the game is your ships. So one of the first big purchases that you're probably going to come across is upgrading your ship. And I want to show you guys that. I want to show you how I go about it, some good resources to look through, and how to kind of plan out what to do for your upgrades. So with that said, I really want to just dive straight into this. I do not want this to be a terribly long video. I just want to get you guys the information. Now lately I've been trying to do more and more informational videos. I get a lot of requests for that, and I've actually had quite a bit of fun doing these. So, and the comments are always great to read. Different people have different opinions on, how to do things. There's never just one right way, right? Not usually in video games anyways, but in Star Citizen there's usually an optimal way of doing it, and I'm going to try to show you what I think is the best way for me. So with that said, I'm going to take you to the first resource that I'm going to use, which is Erkul. And Erkul, what Erkul does is gives you just about everything that you can possibly do with your ship, right? As far as upgrades, finding weapons, it tells you hit points, the location of where they're at. It lets you do basically a ship build and plan a ship build out or ship upgrade out before you actually go and spend the AUEC on it, right? So that's what I want to show you. I'm going to jump in here and let's just get busy and take a look at this. Okay guys, so the first thing I wanted to share with you is this Erkul calculator right here. You can see it up at the top, and I just call it a calculator because it kind of calculates everything in the game that you need for a ship, right? And I just really wanted to take you through this and how to use it for these upgrades and things like that. First things first, it comes in a white layout. Turn that off as fast as you can. It will absolutely blind you. It's terrible. So make sure you just go into the settings, and it's right here. Just select your moon, get that off. Second, make sure you're in the correct build. Make sure it's alive. Make sure it's on the build that you're on. If you're playing in a PTU and you want to see if that build is available, then you just come in here and it'll be available for you to select. Right now, this is all we have. So for this video, at the time of making this, we are in 323.1. We are on the verge of 324, but I don't expect any of this to change because it's not in any of the notes, and that's not what the patch is about, right? So this should be good probably for a few patches. Now, just to dive into this, I want to start with the actual ship components, not the weapons, right? So what I want to show you is how to go about this. You select your ship. Just so you go through here, select your manufacturer, select what ship you have, and it will give you a stock layout. Now, I've changed my stock layout already and went ahead and selected the build that I want it to be. But how you do that is you just select, and this gives you all the stats for everything that you need. Now this can change all the time, right? And sometimes I think it's accurate, sometimes I feel like it's not, but supposedly it's up to date for where we're at. Now on something like the Titan smaller ship, I just go ahead and throw the military on there. I mean, the usefulness of it is limited, and the most important thing you can really put on that is the quantum drive. The rest of it, with as small as the ship is, with the hit points, you're not gaining a terrible amount. But if you're going for that full build, you saved up your money and you're ready to go and you want to get your ship loaded out, select what you want. In my case, I selected the FR66 military. So military A is like the highest military grade that you can get. And right here, it tells you everything about that component, right? And the most important thing it tells you is where you can get it. So there's so many places across the verse that you can actually buy things, and one place does not carry everything. So what you want to do is you kind of want to take note of this. Either, screenshot it, write it down, whatever you're going to do, but take note of what locations are available, because you're going to want to plan your trip out, because you're going to be getting these things at multiple different places. I mean, you can probably, this build right here is probably at least four to five places. So right now we're going to say crew L1 is where I'm probably going to pick that up. So I would write that down and say that's where I want to go. I like staying away from the planets because it's just easier to get in and out of the Lagrange points. In my opinion, it's a little bit faster. So I'm going to need 2 of those. So you got to make note, and don't forget that you're going to need 2 of them. And you can always leave this open in the background, right? The JS300, so that's military. So when you select that, you're going to note that, hey, where can I get it at? And you're going to note all the locations. And you can also note, hey, is there one place that I can get like 4 things at once? It's probably worth the trip, right? So for my case, I'm gonna go ahead and hit up, since it's right in the center. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up her L2 for the JS300. That's our power plant. The coolers, I just, it's not something you have to have. The stock coolers do fine. It's not really something that's in game, in my opinion. I've never had a problem running stock coolers on anything. It's never affected me. But in this case, I'm going to run the military grade A coolers. So we're going to select that, and we'll note that, hey, here they are, and I can get it at Port Tressler. Not too bad. But the main thing is your quantum drive, because that's what's going to allow you to get to and from quicker. So the way you can think about this is do you want to get there super fast and use a ton of fuel, kind of like a sports car you would think of it as, or do you want to get there and maybe a little bit faster than the stock drive, but you still want to be able to go distance, right? And that's the best way to really think about it. In this case, I went ahead and said, you know what, I want to get there super fast. I don't really care how much fuel it uses. And when you select stuff, it'll tell you, and you can actually compare these with the distance. So Crusader to Hurston, it's 434. So what if I did the military, say a military grade B? And you can see it doesn't actually, it's the same. It didn't actually change the time. So why not just go for, your grade A at this point, right? So here we go. We are going to do this actual run through this build, right? I'm going to jump to these places, and I'm going to show you how to install these components on your ship after you buy them. Okay, guys, I just wanted to show you the map before I got this going. So real fast, my first trip is going to be to Ark L1 because my spawn place is Ark Corp and Ark L1 is very close. You can see it's right there. So I'm going to jump to there first. That will actually be for my quantum drive. And hopefully that does all right without the power plant. It should be just fine. I've ran it lots of times before. Next, I'm going to go ahead and jump and grab the power plant. Now, that's going to be at her L2. Now, this does seem like it's out of the way. I was thinking about jumping to crew L1 first, right? And then getting the shields and then running to the power plant here and then Tressler. But I think I'm going to go ahead and jump straight to Hurston, make our way over to crew L1, and then make the long journey. It's not too much longer. Make the long journey all the way over to Microtech to Port Tressler to pick up the last item, which is the coolers, which is the least amount of thing I'm worried about, right? So anyways, I just wanted to kind of show you the map to show you I'm going from here straight up to the Hurston area to Crusader to Microtech. Now, if you're not a person that's super concerned with the types of items and you just want a basic upgrade, maybe you just want a new quantum drive to travel a little faster, don't worry about all the extra items. You don't need everything on your ship, especially if you're not doing anything but using it for a cargo hauler. Then really the only thing you need to worry about, in my opinion, in this state of the game is just getting your quantum drive up to date. It's always good to be prepared, especially if you're doing something that's going to be combat. But if you're in a cargo hauler, you're not going to combat anyways. Hopefully you have somebody that can, escort you for that kind of stuff, that kind of gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the full build on my Titan. I normally just switch out the quantum drive and leave it because I don't do anything worth switching any of it out for in this ship. But I want to kind of give you the full package of switching everything out. So I'm going to go ahead and collect these items. I'm not going to make you wait for the whole thing, but I do want to show you how to switch them onto your ship, how to actually install them on your ship once you purchase them. Okay, guys, I am here at Platinum Bay. I made my very last stop. I picked up my shields. I decided it wasn't worth the trip to go all the way to Port Tressler to pick up some coolers that I really don't care about. They don't help me, and I'm not going to use. Wasted time and money. So what I really want to do is show you some things to pay attention to look out for, and I did this on purpose so that I was able to show you these things. So first things first, let's talk about how to get in there now. I did that real fast, but let me show you from the very get-go. You're gonna hit your Moby glass, and over here you're gonna see a tab down here that says vehicles. When you click vehicles, you're gonna select your ship. Now make sure your ship is stored at the location that you're trying to do that. If your ship is not at this location, you're going to have to claim it at this location and make sure it's not in a hangar. It needs to be stored at the location that you're at to be able to install these upgrades. So in my case, I stored my ship when I landed. So we're going to select the Titan and you'll see this come up. Now, the tab you're looking for is Systems. Now, here are the coolers. Now, I didn't worry about the coolers. I just saw no sense in doing them right now. Maybe next patch or something like that. You know, they'll balance something out. Now, for the power plant, like I said, in Erkul, I was going to do the JS300, so I went ahead and installed that since I was already kind of zipping around the verse, along with my quantum drive. Now, I switched quantum drives because I wanted something that carried more fuel, and that's something that you're going to have to look out for, right? If you do that military drive, you may not be able to jump from, say, Crew L1 all the way back to, say, Port Tressler. You're going to have to find that balance of something that can kind of maybe get you around the areas that you know you're going to want to get to in the fastest amount of time. So in my case, I went ahead and went back with a civilian class B. You can see right here, and it actually tells you still what you have. It was a nice balance for me for this ship. It did everything that I wanted it to do. Now, the last thing that I picked up here so that I can show you how to actually install these is I picked up a shield generator. Now, you can see here, I have 2 items, and in these places I don't. So wherever you purchase these things are, these get stored in that inventory of where you purchase them. So make sure you swap them at the place that you're at. If not, you're going to jump to a new location, go to install all your stuff, and your new item that you just bought isn't going to be there. So you can see I don't have any other options for these 2. But for my shield generator, since this is where I purchased it at, you have it. So here's the FR66, which is the grade A military, and you can see here's the one that's equipped right now, which is a grade size 1 grade A military. Sorry, that's the FR66. The Bulwark is the size 1. It's the C industrial. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to install this. You can see when you click it, it says equipped. And when you click the next one, because there are 2 shield generators, you click equipped. Now, these little items right here means it's equipped, but it's not saved. So it means that it's down here. You'll see it. It says change pending. So all you do is save changes and equip. So always make sure when you make a change, you definitely click save. If not, it's not going to take that change. Believe me, I thought I've changed something, flew all the way across the verse, realized, oh, I didn't even get it. It's not there. I didn't change it. I didn't save it. And down here, it tells you what all it's going to replace and things like that. So that is how you change your items. So let's say you were going to change your weapons. Same exact things. You have your racks and your missiles. So you would have your missiles that you buy here and how many available here. So you could just click them and select and then click your save over here and it would save your missiles or your guns or whatever you were going to put on your ship. Same thing with the livery. See, I have the icebreaker livery set, but I don't have the other ones because I'm not back at my main thing, so I can't actually change it back to stock. So guys, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some information or gives you an idea of how to do this. I was trying to make it as basic as possible without getting into too many details and to make the video as short as I could just to get this information across. As always, I really appreciate the support. If you want to see something else or you have opinions about this or better ways of doing it, always comment. I love reading this stuff. I love communicating with you guys about some of this stuff. Like I said, it's just the way I do it. There's always different ways of doing it, maybe even better ways, but this actually works for me, so I'm going to continue to do this unless I find a better way for myself. Thanks again, and as always, I will see you guys on the next video.